Now, before reigning Miss Universe Catriona Gray hits the streets of Manila for her victory parade, I was able to sit down with her to talk to her about life as a beauty queen and as an epitome of a modern-day Filipina. Let's watch this. Did somebody ever tell you that there's no way you can be a beauty queen?
Actually, no.
Have you ever? Or it's like from day one, yes, you're totally beauty queen material.
Well, I from day one when I was a child, I had no interest in being a beauty queen actually. But not so much in being a beauty queen, but like sometimes when you are ambitious, and I'm a very ambitious person, you could make someone privy to your dreams, and you would get a comment like, why would you choose to do that? Or you're fine here,
yes,
you know, like you know,
else, yeah.
you're established here. You're in your comfort zone essentially. So, yeah, there always was someone, or like even comments on social media, that are always trying to define like who I was or what I was capable of, and there's something satisfying about always overtaking.
Yes, right. And surprising everybody.
Exactly.
But you seem to be like the modern day Filipina. How would you best describe the modern day Filipino? How have we evolved?
I think something that is so beautiful about being Filipina are our values of family, of being that very...
And that seems to have been stable. I mean, that hasn't changed no matter what happens around us.
So our values definitely are concrete. Even the value of being very respectful and very considerate, I feel, is very Filipina. But being a modern Filipina, I feel like we're becoming more vocal about what we want, and we're also becoming more engaged in our community. We're taking that initiative to say, you know, this is the world that I envision for myself, for my family in the future. You know, what can I do to take steps to partake in making that come to life?
Okay, and speaking of modern day Filipina and taking steps, what would you say would be, since now you do have a voice, and it's loud, and it's clear, and people are like wanting to hear what you have to say, what would you say would be the most pressing issues that we do have in our country that must be addressed?
One of them would definitely be addressing ignorance, and I feel like education is one of the key tools that we can harness to address that, because when you look at it in different situations, how it materializes, ignorance can define people's lives, how they view themselves, how they allow things to define them, such as, you know, I work a lot for HIV and AIDS advocacy. So, you know, things like that. Ignorance gives people a closed view of the world that we're in. It closes people off to having a two-way conversation and to meeting our ideas together and kind of finding a way to understand and respect each other. So I feel like if we harness education, which is something that is readily available to us, but we just need to take the step to highlight its importance.
Especially with like social media. I mean, you don't even have to actually go to a college to attain some sort of education. And do you think, because you do have this global outlook, that has actually helped you become more maybe universally accepted or a better beauty queen, because you have had that experience of being in Australia, in the US, and you know, you just everything.
Growing up with a combination of cultures definitely helped me understand the differences in either values or how things are seen or how things are perceived. And that allowed me to have an understanding at a very young age to know that, you know, this culture sees this a certain way and this one sees a different way. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just what makes them unique. And I think everyone could benefit from that, because again, going back to having that two-way conversation, whether it be about politics or issues or current things that are happening, it's always important to hear what the other person has to say, even though you feel you're right.
That's right.
You still need to keep your ears open.
And you talk a lot about staying true to yourself. I've heard you say that over and over again. Who would you say you are? I mean, it seems... Okay, so that question first. I mean, because you are a lot of things.
I am.
You're not just one.
No.
So who are you? A mystical creature.
I'm a unicorn, no. You know, I almost feel like I adapt to a situation. You know, Catriona at home, I'm a family woman. Like, I love being with my parents as an only child. I'm quiet. I love reading. I love, you know, cuddling up in my pajamas and being very simple. Catriona on stage, she's a performer. She's a little bit fierce. She's a little bit, you know, yeah, she's a performer, and that's not, you can't compare the two, but they're both within me. And I feel like that's a normal thing, because like again, pushing for women empowerment, women can be multifaceted, and we are constantly showing that we are multifaceted.
So, are you also? Would you also be the type that yes, you can pay for my bill, if a man offered, or would you say no? I'll take care of everything. Where would you be? Would you be a feminist, or would you like, no, open my door for me, or carry my bag? I mean, because you can't be both.
I don't think being with someone who's chivalrous is being anti-feminist. It's really depending on the situation. I am a little bit of a romantic.
Yes.
I love it when a man takes a bit of initiative and either opens the door or offers to pay. It doesn't matter that, yes, I can pay for this meal, but it is nice to experience a bit of chivalry, and I think that's nice.